Virgil van Dijk is going to win the 2019 Ballon d'Or. He's going to win it. He is going to win it now. What's up, Rich Squad? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dominic Rich. And as you can tell from the title, I'll be doing the player rating for every single player who participated in the 2019 Champions League Final between Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool. As we already know, Liverpool won the game 2-0. But were they as convincing as the scoreline suggests? So what we're going to do right now, we're going to break down every player's performance to the best of my ability or our ability, but we're gonna do this. I want you guys to participate in the comment section down below. Let me know how much you rate every single player who participated in the final. We are gonna start with the losers, Tottenham Hotspur. Well, we should call them second place because they did play second in the Champions League final. So let's start with the Tottenham Hotspur players. First of all, Hugo Lloris. Hugo Lloris. A lot of times we say Hugo Lloris is not as good as people say he is. He won the World Cup with France, but he has a mistake or two in him. Not that he made a clear mistake that led to goal in the game, but some may ask, was the Salah penalty savable? Was it savable if he had made the right decision? Remember, he saved the penalty versus Sergio Aguero in the quarterfinals. So he was supposed to come up big in the final and save that one too. But it was a good penalty if you really look at it by Mohamed Salah. The power was really on point. But in terms of direction, I think Salah could have gone wider, but I'm only saying that he scored the goal. Lloris wasn't good enough to stop it, and Liverpool went into the lead. Again, Lloris also conceded a second goal, a Divock Origi shot. It wasn't a powerful shot. It was hit from an angle, and Lloris was beaten at his far post. Some may say he should have had that covered too. He could have had that covered if his positioning was right. I'm going to be critical of Lloris because he could have been better. Tottenham needed him to pull off a few big saves, and when it mattered, he could not do it. He's the club captain, and you have to be critical of Lloris. He did not have the worst game. I'm only exaggerating here because some of you guys are going to say that those goals weren't stoppable. But I'm going to say, as your keeper, you have to do something spectacular and stop those balls from going in the back of the net. But you can't blame him. Tottenham had their chances. They didn't equalize. They didn't score any goals. And I can't be overly critical of Lloris, but I just wanted to mention that. So for his performance, I'm going to give Lloris a 4. I'm going to give him a 4. Can't get a 5. Can't pass him. So I'm going to give him a 4. On to the next player. Let's start with the centre backs. Toby Alderweireld. Toby Alderweireld. Very good defender, but was he at his best on the day? I can't say that at all. I can't say that. Liverpool's was limited in attack. Very limited. A Liverpool team that had less shots off at goal than Tottenham Hotspur. So that's a strange one because Liverpool mostly dominate games. They had, what, 39% of the possession. So you could tell Tottenham had their chances. But Alderweireld, I'm going to be critical of him for the second goal. I think when Divock Origi had the ball, he was a bit too standoffish. He should have actually got a bit closer to Origi to stop him from getting a comfortable shot off. Go back and look at the replay. You could see him. He's like, he had his hands behind his back and was trying to block his path in a way. But you can't do that. You have to go towards the player. Not per se go in for a tackle, but close him down. Close him down. You can't allow a striker like Origi, who's in good form, to get a shot off, and he did, and he scored the second goal that knocked the wind out of Tottenham's sails, and they lost the game. They lost the game. So for Alderweireld, harsh again. Harsh, overly critical, maybe. But I'm going to give Alderweireld a 4.5 for his performance. 4.5. A 0.5 more because they kept it down to 2 at least. It wasn't an embarrassing scoreline. As for his partner, Jan Vertonghen, can't blame him too much in terms of the goals. But he's part of the defense that conceded twice. So I'm going to have to give Vertonghen a 5 for this game. Wasn't overly involved, but I'm going to give him a 5. Guys, what are your ratings for both Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's move over to the fullbacks. Let's start with Danny Rose first. I think he had a decent game. He tried. He really tried hard and he played with heart. But couldn't provide any effective crosses in. Tottenham lacked the end product. Tottenham lacked the delivery. And the end product wasn't good when they did deliver the ball in. So for Danny Rose, I'm going to give Danny Rose a higher rating because he was a bit better than both the centre backs. So I'm going to give him 5.5. 5.5 for Danny Rose. He had a decent game. He had a really, really decent game. He tried. Over to his partner on the right-hand side, Kieran Trippier. Kieran Trippier, I think, had a very, very good game. He's the dead ball specialist. I think his deliveries weren't the best because Tottenham had quite a bit of corners. They could have capitalized a little bit more on those opportunities. But Kieran Trippier was good in the game. I think he handled Sadio Mane very, very well anytime Marnie went forward. So for Trippier, I'm going to give Trippier a 6.5. A 6.5. And that's really generous. That's generous. That's high. So I think he had a really, really good game. So let's move up into the midfield and let's start with Moussa Sissoko. Moussa Sissoko. He played more of a holding midfielder type role in the game, and his handball early in the game may have caused Tottenham the match. He's not to be blamed for the handball too much. I can't be overly critical of him, but still I have to be critical because he's the one who stretched his arm out. Not me, not you, not Alderweireld or Vertonghen or Harry Kane or one of those guys. It was Moussa Sissoko. Like, you have to be aware at where you at. You're in the box. You can't be pointing your hands like this. You can't be pointing out your hands like that. Come on. Something is bound to hit it. And that is exactly what happened in the game. Marnie tried to cross the ball and he hit his arm. Because if you really think about it, guys, think about it. Why was he putting his hand up? He was directing a player to maybe mark the far post because Marnie is going to look to cross. So if you're going to tell a player to mark the far post because Marnie is going to cross, come on, think about this. Think about this, guys. You're telling somebody Marnie is going to cross. Obviously, he's going to cross. So why are you putting your hands up? Why are you putting your hands up? That's what I'm trying to say. Why are you putting your hands up? And Marnie shot the ball. You got to give credit to Marnie, though. That was, pretty on target there. Like, how did he manage to hit his arm? The ball could have passed underneath or over his arm, but it hit his arm. Sissoko should have never had his hand out. At first, maybe he brushed his shoulder and then onto his arm. Bigger target, I should say. So, hit him, went onto his arm. Penalty. Penalty. Salah stepped up. Salah scored. Spoke about it earlier. Salah scored. And Sissoko, I'm afraid, has to be the villain here. Has to be the villain here. So, his performance, though. Some people are saying that Sissoko had a good game and he made amends and he looked a little bit better. But I can remember an instance where Sissoko just crossed the ball wildly. Like he passed it to nobody. I'm like, okay, what is going on here today? What is going on here? I'm like, Spurs are not winning this game. They're not playing like they're a team to win. Remember, Sissoko had a shot. He hit it up in the stands. Whenever he had an opportunity to shoot, he didn't pull the trigger either. So for Sissoko, his performance, I'm going to give Sissoko a 3. You could give him a different rating, but I'm going to give Moussa Sissoko a 3. Let us move on. Let us move on. Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen was poor in the game. Let's say that. Christian Eriksen was poor in the game. He was absent for most of it. He was just basically going through the motions. He had an Ozil-esque type of game. You know what I'm saying? Mesut Ozil. He looked like Mesut Ozil. And Christian Eriksen has a lot of games like this, where he's basically a ghost for majority of the game, and then he may pop up and score something brilliant. And he did get an opportunity to score with that free kick. It was a really good free kick. Alison was equal to the task, and he almost redeemed himself. But Eriksen was poor for majority of the game. I'm going to give Christian Eriksen a 4. His performance is a 4. Let's move on. Have a lot of players to go through. Harry Winks. Harry Winks should have never started this game. He should have never started this game. He had patches where he looked good, but he is not a goal scorer. Tottenham needed goals. I think Tottenham went in way too defensive in this game. 2 holding midfielders. Harry Winks should have never started this game. Never, 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 ever started this game. Lucas Mora should have started. Dele Alli should have been playing where Harry Winks was, or more advanced, but he should have never started. But he did not play too badly. He didn't play too badly for his performance. He was subbed out. I'm going to give Harry Winks a 5 for his performance. To be honest, he did not play badly, because when he was taken off, I was surprised because he began to look a little good. So I'm going to give Harry Winks a 5 for his performance. Let us move into the forward players, and let us start with Dele Alli. Atrocious. He was atrocious. Atrocious. A cataclysmic performance by Dele Alli. His delivery was horrible. Whenever he had a shot, no good. Didn't take opportunities. Dele Alli was terrible in the game. I'm going to give Dele Alli a 2. Very harsh, but I'm going to give Dele Alli a 2. Let us move on. Harry Kane. Some may say Harry Kane should have never started that game as well. He was injured for the back end of the season, and it's a Champions League final. You got to get him fit. He is your best player, so you got to get him fit. But he was very ineffective. I think I could remember Harry Kane getting maybe 1 or 2 shots off late in the game. He played the 90. I think he did play the 90. But Harry Kane was mostly ineffective for the majority of the game. Harry Kane, your performance, I'm going to give you a 2.5. 2.5. It was poor. It was very poor. Harsh again, but very poor. Last player in the 11 for Tottenham Hotspur, and that's Heung-min Son. I think Son's, let's say, the first 60 minutes of his game was also poor. Also poor. But after he threatened a bit going forward, had a really good shot saved by Alison, a shot or 2. He played himself into the game. Can't be too harsh on Son. I'm going to give Son a 5.5 for his performance. It wasn't the worst. He tried. He tried his all. Substitutes. Lucas Mora should have started this game. Saw when he came on, Tottenham came to life, or maybe they were just desperate, but Lucas Mora should have started the game, and it may have cost Tottenham a Champions League title. Let's just say that. Let us just say that, because Tottenham had most of the possession. They had chances. They created chances, but the end product was lacking, and Alison was good enough to stop whatever they sent at him. Mora, could remember him getting a weak shot off. Didn't have the greatest of games, came off the bench. I'm going to have to give Mora a 4.5 rating for his performance. Wasn't the greatest either, but he should have started. May have been better if he started. Then Eric Dyer. I don't even know why Eric Dyer came on. Like, why did you put on Eric Dyer? Why? I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Why was Eric Dyer on the field? Why not bring on Eric Lamela? Why bring on Dyer? You need goals, you're going to bring on Dyer. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't understand what Pochettino did in the finals. Seriously. Seriously. Dyer, performance, harsh, but I'm going to have to give him a 3. Didn't participate much, but I'm going to have to give him a 3. Then the last player on the list, Fernando Llorente, who I like the role that he played coming off the bench, trying to score, but he didn't get the opportunities. He didn't get the opportunities. Seriously, like, I can't remember Fernando Llorente getting an opportunity to score. I can't even remember him ever touching the ball. He may have touched the ball, but I just can't remember. I'm going to have to give Fernando Llorente a 2.5. 2.5. Can't blame him, but still, 2.5. So that's my ratings for the Tottenham Hotspur players. Kieran Trippier, I think, was the best player for Tottenham on the field on the night. Kieran Trippier. Let me know who you think was Tottenham's best player down below. I know a lot of Liverpool fans are going to say Moussa Sissoko, but it's all right. Guys, let's talk about the Liverpool players. This is going to be a little faster because I won't be too overly critical of the Liverpool players like I was for the Spurs players. So it's going to be a little faster. Let's talk about the champions. Liverpool FC. Liverpool FC. First of all, let's start with Jurgen Klopp. I think his selection was on point. He played the exact team I predicted. He got things right on the day. Pochettino didn't. So for Jurgen Klopp, you got to give him a 9 performance. 9 for his rating. 9. Got to give him a 9. His tactics were right. Handled the boys very well. They handled the tempo of the game very well. And give Jurgen Klopp a 9. Okay, let's start talking about the subs first. James Milner came on, did his job. We all know what Milner does. His performance, got to give him a positive performance because he came out on the winning end. Wasn't really involved like that, but you got to give him a positive performance. So I'm going to give Milner a 6. Came off the bench a 6. That's fair enough. Fair enough. Joe Gomez wasn't too involved as well. Got to give him a 6 as well. But the man who was involved, Divock Origi. Again, that's 3 goals in 2 games. Semi-final and final. Like, that's crazy. 2 goals. 3 goals. 3. He scored 2 in the semi, 1 in the final. Divock Origi, a 10. A 10. I'm not even bullshitting you. A 10. He's the reason why Liverpool won the Champions League. Divock Origi. Not even bullshitting you. A 10. Perfect 10. Perfect 10. Divock Origi. Now let's move on. I don't even need to explain that any further. Okay. Let's start with the goalkeeper. Alison for the 11 players. Alison. Brilliant. My man of the match. Official UEFA website says it's Virgil van Dijk, but for me, Alison was the man of the match. The saves he pulled off, his distribution, everything. He was calm, poised, cool, collected on the day. Alison was brilliant. Alison, I'm going to give Alison a 9 for his performance. Or 9.5. 9.5. Very indecisive right now. But I'm going to give him a 9.5. He was brilliant. Virgil van Dijk. Another great game for Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool applied different tactics. A lot of times, Virgil van Dijk would play the ball out from the back. But yesterday, Virgil van Dijk was clearing those balls out. He was clearing them like, get out of here. No mistakes here. We're not going to make any mistakes. We're not going to pass the ball around and then, oops. No, kick it out. Give it back to them if they want to come back again. That's their business, but get it out of here. And that's what Liverpool did very well. I could remember Son on the attack, Virgil van Dijk running back and winning the ball. He was brilliant. He was brilliant. And the PFA Player of the Year. They're currently going through a resurgence with the Netherlands as well. Or let me just say, you can't say Netherlands without saying the Netherlands, right? With Netherlands or Holland. Winning the Champions League. Coming in second in the Premier League. 97 points with the best defense in the league. Virgil van Dijk is going to win the 2019 Ballon d'Or. He's going to win it. He is going to win it now. He's going to win it now. Virgil van Dijk performance, I'm going to give a 9. A 9. We have our Ballon d'Or, guys. Step aside Lionel Messi. We have our Ballon d'Or already. Virgil van Dijk. Joel Matip, I think he was really good in the game. Really, really good. Very underrated player. But he was good for Klopp this season. He was really good. I'm going to give Matip an 8.5. Trent Alexander-Arnold, man. This kid has to be the best right back in the world right now. Hands down. No debate. No debate. His delivery, he's fast. He has to work on his defensive side of the game, but he was very, very good in the final. Very good. He handled Son very well. Or whoever was over on the left flank whenever Tottenham was going forward. He handled them very, very well. So for Trent Alexander-Arnold, Liverpool's dead ball specialist, he takes their corners and all. Imagine that, right? I'm going to have to give Trent Alexander-Arnold a 9.5 as well. A 9.5. Over to his opposite fullback, Andy Robertson. I think Robertson didn't have the greatest of games, but he was still solid. Still very solid. I like when he link up with Alexander-Arnold on the diagonal balls. They do that very, very well. And going forward, he is also very good. His deliveries are on point. He had a really good shot saved by Lloris yesterday. And for his performance, I'm going to give him an 8.5. But he was very solid. Some of you guys might not agree with my ratings, but I'm going to give him an 8.5. Moving further up, Fabinho, man. What a game he had yesterday. He had a really solid game. He's been putting in a really good string of performances. He's been good. Versus Barcelona in the second leg, he was brilliant. Now in the final, he was awesome. He was really good. The holding midfield role is not easy to play because you have to keep your head on. You can't wander forward too much. You have to just stay back, help your defense. Go forward when you can, but make sure you come back to provide cover. Fabinho did that very, very well. The man is good. He's highly rated. He was linked to Man City. He was part of the Monaco team that had a tremendously great run a few seasons ago. With himself and Bernardo Silva and Bakayoko and Mbappe, Sidibe, Lemar, and those guys. They were awesome. So, for Fabinho's performance, I'm going to give Fabinho an 8.5 as well. Jordan Henderson. Oh man, how vastly improved of a player he is this season. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Henderson looked really good. Henderson was one of Liverpool's best players on the night. He was. He was. Liverpool were on the back foot for most of the game. They were on the back foot, but Henderson looked good. When going forward, Henderson looked good. Henderson has put in a few good performances as of late. Picking up quite a bit of assist as well. And that tells a lot about your game. He's becoming a bit more creative than he usually was. So the Captain Fantastic on the day, he has to get a high score. He has to get a 9. Bravo to Henderson. I know a lot of you guys are not going to agree with my ratings, But they won the game. They won the game. They won the game. They had a plan. It wasn't the Liverpool brand of football that you guys are used to. I realized that. I realized that Liverpool played this game very smartly. They played the game very smartly. After getting the early goal, it wasn't no need to leave yourself open. No need for that. They went forward when they could, but they weren't overly attacking. They weren't going to leave themselves vulnerable, even though they were still vulnerable, but they dealt with everything that came back there. Henderson, he was brilliant. So I'm going to give him a 9. On to the next player. Gini Wijnaldum. He wasn't Liverpool's best player on the night, but he did what he had to do. He went off a bit early, in my opinion. His rating will be on the lower end. I'm going to give Wijnaldum a 6.5. 6.5. Then let's move on to the forward players. Let's start with Marnie. Marnie had a very good game. At one point, people in my live stream were saying that Marnie is the best player right now on the field. He was good. Didn't have a lot of chances, but he played his role. He played his role. He's not going to get a high rating, but he did what he had to do. I'm going to have to give Sadio Mane a 7.5 for this game. 7.5 is fair enough. A lot of you guys might not agree, but 7.5. Liverpool weren't great on the day in terms of going forward. They weren't. They weren't at all. So that's why I give the players in the defensive side of the field, the defensive third and the midfield third, a bit of a higher rating because that's where they were best. That's where they were best. Despite scoring twice, they were better at keeping Tottenham at bay, preventing them from scoring, breaking up play and whatnot. So for Marnie, I'm going to give him a 7.5. Firmino didn't have the greatest of games. I can't remember Firmino even getting a shot off at goal. And he played as a center forward. But we know he roams and he helps out in defense and the midfield as well. He went off very early because he wasn't 100% fit. For Firmino, I'm going to give his performance a 6. A 6. And the last player on the list, Mohamed Salah. Salah also had a similar game to Sadio Mane. Didn't have a lot of shots off at goal. He scored. He scored the first goal. Gotta give him credit for that. And that was just about it. It wasn't overly involved. So I'm going to have to give Salah a 7.5 for his performance. Guys, do you agree with my player ratings for the 2018-19 Champions League Final? Was I overly critical of all the players? We had what? 28 players broken down. Was I overly critical or not? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, guys, I want you to let me know your rating for every single player in the comment section down below. And if you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button. Smash the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad.